They want messages to be brought to the attention of everyone. It's meant for whenever this is going to air and for whatever is going on. It is a whole different level of communication when you see a visual representation of this animal. There is an emotion that is humanly elicited within almost all of you. It is a connection to what is the soul element of that animal. We understand that this message perhaps is much more than many of you might be able to comprehend.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. I'd like to welcome back to the show amazing channeling medium, Jeannette. Welcome back, Jeannette.
Thank you, Michelle, for having me back. It's great to be here again.
Yes, and we are now rolling into December, which
Ta-da.
means, yes.
Red flag just for December, y'all.
Which means it's nearly Christmas, and I think I just felt everybody in the world eye roll then. It's that word, I don't know, but come on now. We've got messages that we can share for the month of December, and I'm curious actually to hear what your spirit team has to share about December.
Yuletide. And then there's the other side of that coin where time isn't really a thing for them, but I think the emotion that goes along with what we consider, the season and the month, definitely is something that is also felt on the other side of the veil, because they pick up on our energy and where we're at. And for some reason, we as humans kind of hold it to a few days that, we can maybe be nice and move our neighbor's garbage in a little bit better so, the cars don't take it out next time they come around the corner. I love the people that say, I try and be like that every day of the year. It's challenging with humanity. But there are people that are like that, and it's pretty amazing. So when we come into December with, the smell of evergreen, if you're lucky enough to be near that, I'm in South Florida, so we smell coconuts all the time. But there's something definitely in the air. There's something switches, something clicks, and people smile a little bit more and are a little bit more gracious. And we take a minute to think back on what the year was like and how maybe the next year we can be a better version of ourselves. So it's special. And it's beautiful.
Definitely.
The Christmas lights, and there's a lot of magic that happens, I think.
Yeah. I want to say you guys do Christmas a lot bigger than what we do Christmas here. It'd be interesting to see, which I think you will be seeing soon, Christmas in New York or anywhere like that. It just huge. I've seen, I watch movies, but Christmas just seems so big in America. All occasions and holiday seasons seem so big.
Yeah, like in the cities, anything that is not that stands still, they put lights on it. I mean, one of the ones that's beautiful for me is they have like a boat parade, and they light up the boats, and that reflects on the water. It's beautiful. Again, just really magical. And everybody drives around with their Christmas boats, I guess, all decorated and done up, and the houses and the trees, all of our botanical gardens, our zoo, all of the community places that people go with their families to enjoy. They light it up, and you can go at night. Usually we all pray that it's a cool night and it's not like 85 or 87 degrees and you're like, doesn't feel like Christmas, humbug, but it's beautiful. And now they've got all the the light shows that they can do with the droids,
the drones, yeah.
the drones. Wow, what I saw for the 4th of July in Fort Lauderdale on the water was mind blowing. It's just it's just crazy. It's just crazy. Anything that they think that they wish to create, it can be created and projected up into the sky.
Wow.
So
I've actually never seen a light show like that. I know that they are using them, but I've never taken the time to even YouTube that actually.
Yeah, they're trippy. Like we were sitting there going, how's that firework? And then I'm like, no, you guys, those aren't fireworks that somebody, orchestrated. That is whole other technology and science that's happening there. Plus it didn't have the horrible noxic smoke that comes with it. Like here, when they do all the fireworks off of Miami Beach, it's like, for a good half hour, it's like a gray cloud that just comes in. Yeah. And you can smell the soot. No, they put lights on everything here. Everything. Because it attracts people, which creates more marketing and blah, 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 bottom line, the dollar. But it's beautiful to see. And you just drive around your neighborhoods and see what different people do. And it's kind of like with the Halloween, I would send her a couple of different things with Halloween. And she was like, she couldn't believe it. Skeletons coming out of the ground. They're like huge. Some of them were literally 2 stories tall.
Yeah, I know. It's right? Like, where would you even
4 of them?
Where would you even store those? Like, what?
Storage, which was our family business. Buy whatever you want. Don't worry about where you're going to put it. Pay us and we'll store it for you. Don't worry about it, Yeah. So, but it's really, really beautiful to see. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
and it's also a magical time of year. And I think if we focus more on the magic that is, the joy that comes in, especially with kids and just watching their face light up when they see the lights and presents and Santa, it really is a magical time of year as well. And I think if we try to focus there rather than the chaos of it all, Christmas can end up being very, very magical. And be kind.
Yes. Little kids, they're just awesome. The way they at 3 and they rip through the thing. They get it, they look at it, toss it, then they go to the next one. Or my favorite is like when they're real small, you give them something great and they have more fun with the box. I remember my nieces fighting over a box, I don't know, something huge that we had gotten them, maybe some little car or something was in a box. And forget the car, forget that electric car that we got them. They were both in the car, like inside the box, pushing each other like, no, this is my half of the box. This is like, really? I just could have gotten them a box. That's all we needed. So, but yeah, and definitely, and I know family always has its ups and downs, but at the end of the day, they're your family. And there's a lot to be said to be able to just spend time together, without having missions or stuff that you've got to get accomplished and just those special days you can just kind of lounge around. We were talking about it, throw a mattress on the floor, watch Christmas movies and eat popcorn and just be together.
Yeah, that's it. It's the simple things, isn't it? Without going too overboard, it is the simple things that are making the time to make that day relaxing.
Yeah.
And for everyone.
That's tricky. That's tricky.
When you've got little kids, it is. When you've got a young family, but, we sort of don't have little kids around us at the moment when we spend Christmas. So distance is a big thing in this vast country of ours.
Big place.
Yeah. So we, it's a nice relaxing day for us. But without further ado, let's get back to unlimited connections. Now, this is, what do you like to call this I know some people call it a channeling. What do you like to call it?
I like to call it nothing. I like what I mean by that. Let me go back here a little bit is the labeling, but everything has to get labeled. And it's somebody else will come up with, I don't know who it was that I heard. I'm like, well, that's interesting. And she's like, yeah, I like to call it this. And I'm kind of like, I like to not call it anything because it's sometimes it's like different levels and that will come through. So I can label this a channeling, but then it'll go really, really deep. And maybe there'll be different energies that come through, like the last time. That's more trance. So that's the difference. So when I go into it, it kind of depends, where I'm at, what level am I at tonight, and who's going to be coming through and what they want to bring in, and do they need to push me further away when, for them to bring through that particular message. And a lot of people say, well, I set my intention, and I go, well, I don't know, man. Nobody gets my emails or my memos up there, because like right now, like I said, we were talking about, the year and the next year coming, and to be grateful for what you've done and kind of think, how can I be a little bit better next year? And I could set all of that intention, and this is where my brain is at and what I'm thinking of, and family and end of year and holidays. And they may come up with a whole different thing that I have no idea of. So yeah, so I choose not to call it. That's it. I'm not calling it, other than definitely there's an altered state of consciousness. How deep it goes, we'll switch it from a channeling into something deeper, which would be more of a trance.
Yeah. And I think the labels are so people can try and grasp somewhat what's happening, or, but I understand exactly what you're saying, because it's unique and different for everyone.
And the reality of that is, in psychology, for example, you have a psychiatrist, you have a psychologist, and now you have life coaches, you have therapists. The average individual doesn't really know the difference. And when you try explaining it to them, and you just, like I say, explain it to me like I'm a second grader, okay? Because don't make me work. Explain exactly what you're talking about. And sometimes they'll get it, but that's more related to what you studied and how many years and what you specialize in. Psychiatrists can give you meds. A psychologist gives you therapy, no meds. You got to go to the other guy for the meds, right? And how many years did you do? Are you a life coach? Life coach is like, 1 or 2 years, and that's it. So, but with this, we don't really have a playbook where, oh, yes, well, it means if they do it for this length of time, it's a channeling. Do we have electrodes connected to, our neural impulses, and that's measuring what level, how disassociated we're getting, and our different brain waves are beta, alpha, where is it? Maybe, but no one's really going to do that. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Take it, enjoy it if you can, use it. Hopefully it'll bring something to your life somehow. It'll uplift you. It'll make you think a little bit about something else. And at the end, it'll be like Michelle's favorite expression. It's all good. I don't have her cute Australian accent, but yeah. So I don't get bogged down in worrying about that. It is their energies that come through with the intention of uplifting humanity.
Yeah. And I'm just going to point out.
Good. Like that one.
Yeah. Yes. That was a very good explanation, actually. And I think that's where we all need to move into, just having that openness about the process. It's just it's a process, and it's going to be different and unique for everybody. But I want to point out the fact that if you're listening to this, I would strongly suggest that eventually you come and watch the video, because you can physically see the change, the shift when you go into that state. And I'm going to point out November, the episode you did in November of Unlimited Connections. Your eyes were rolled back in your head. Your eyes were open a little bit, and there was an absolute definitely Jeannette was not home, and someone else had moved in or stepped in. So, and not just once, 3 different energies stepped in. And that was quite profound to see. I don't think I've ever seen that happen to that extent, physically, energetically, just the whole package deal was actually quite phenomenal to watch. So if you haven't seen it, go back and watch November's. I'll put the link in the description. But yeah, unbelievable, incredible. And you can physically see the changes. If you can't feel it and you're not sort of to that level in your life yet, watch, because you can see the change. I can't promise it's going to happen today, but you never know.
And I will say one thing, I'm Latin, and so, makeup, and my mom at 93, every morning, like I'll put my hair up here and walk out and whatever, grab my coffee and come back to life. And she's, doing the makeup, the mascara before she ever goes out to get her morning coffee.
Wow.
It's like almost inbred. So when I had to watch that back, let me just tell you people, I was like, why did I bother? What? Can I crazy glue them? What a horrible look. Eyes rolled back. No. So I stake my life on it. None of that would be theatrical because it's just completely unbecoming, and no, not a look that I want to adhere to. Not at all. But that was, for example, that was trance. That was deep stuff, like you said. I was, much further removed.
Yeah.
Than other times. Yes.
Yeah.
And funny enough, how synchronicity works. I think within it, because I go, man, that was, even to me, so I have to sit here and digest it. Go, that was a lot. That was kind of odd. And I'm watching to Next Level Soul with Alex Herrera, who I love him, and he has this channeler on, and he's like, oh, and she does something really weird, whatever. And I'm like, I listen to it while I'm getting ready, and I'm like, holy hell, this is exactly what happened to me. And I'm like, okay, I feel a little bit better because, all of this is not like your normal average. And then within not being normal average, you're even less normal. So I felt much better. I can't remember her name, but if you look up, Alex's show, Next Level Soul, you'll see this. And that's what she does. She brought through, several different energies, and it was interesting to watch another person do this. And like I have said, that this is like my third year in this, genre. So I don't know all the big players or the people. I'll be like, oh, who's that? What is that about? What's that book? So I'm learning. I am learning as I'm going along, which makes it all very exciting and very interesting. But I am not the only one. So you can refer and start Googling people who do channel, like, more than one entity or being at a time. And that was really cool. I'm like, what are the odds of this? Because I've been listening to his show for years, and I had never seen anything like that.
Wow. And
it was kind of like, don't worry, you're not the biggest freak out there. Calm down, Jeannette, and just keep going. I was like, okay, check, thank you.
Yeah,
I got it.
There's more of you out there. Don't worry, it's all good. It's all good.
But the thing, there it is. But the synchronicity was, I thought, really interesting for me anyway. It was like a little verification for me, and I appreciated that.
Yeah. Such a timely confirmation of keep going. You got this.
Where does this woman come from? Who is she?
Oh, I love it. I love it. All right. So are we ready? Do we want to get into it? Now, for those that, if you're listening or watching for the first time, I will take out the silence where Jeannette starts to go into an altered state. It is like watching someone meditate. There's not much going on. And if you're listening, it's a whole bunch of silence. I will take notes. I have my pen. And I will cut it in once your team starts speaking. And then at the end, it'll be cut again when you're coming out, because I like to allow the medium's time to come back into their physical body, and whatever that looks like, just give you that space to do that comfortably. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. When you're ready, Jeannette.
connections wait on the other side of this. Thank you. Join with you now. As the frenzy continues, as the electricity of that energy rises, we remind you that all things that rise eventually find their starting point again when there is a crisis. It eventually is followed by a resolution. When something is lost, something is attained. Perhaps that which you lose, you may consider to have tremendous value, be it in a emotional tie or a monetary gain and loss value. The experience and lesson of the loss, and how after understanding that loss, you are still who you were prior to losing that item, is the knowledge that is attained and gained. That knowledge that is attained from that lesson is now something that can never be lost. As you reflect back, yes, as was being discussed earlier, you tend to tally things that were of importance to you in a positive or negative, something that was not attained or something that was lost, something that came to fruition. We wish you to comprehend that when you look back over those things that have come and gone from your life, you recognize the ones that stay with you for always are the only ones that have true value to your time here on this earth. And that you take with you not only when you leave this body, but it is part of your soul's history and makeup moving forward through the sequences of the infinity that is your existence. The cycle that begins and ends in multiple dimensions all at once. That knowledge is carried through to all of those part of you. We understand that this message perhaps was much more than many of you might be able to comprehend, but we are also quite accepting that there will be a shifting happening, and that perhaps what you did not understand here at this moment, you will understand in the near future for yourselves. we want to share with you the image of the horses that you have there on your world. We want to speak with you of the emotion that you feel when you either are in the presence of such a being, this animal you call horse, or simply when you see a visual representation of this animal. There is an emotion that is humanly elicited within almost all of you. It is a connection to what is the soul element of that animal. There is no logical reason for that connection, that feeling, and that vibration that you feel towards the horses there on you, in your world, but know that they are full of magic and full of energetic potential available to all of you. And within the coming years in your future, you will learn how to truly not only appreciate, but work with and utilize them for many modalities of healing and of communication. They are sacred beings. The heavens near your earth at this time are creating many scenic vistas of vibrations, of energies, of colors, and of lights that have never before been recorded in such numbers and in such availability to different areas upon your maps. Your skies are changing because the things that are outside of your atmosphere and within the planetary systems are also changing directions, magnetic poles, and many other scientific terminologies that at this time we will not continue to discuss. Appreciate them for what they are. Connect with the colors if you can, connect with the emotions that those colors bring up in each and every one of you. Hopefully, there is a calming nature that is to be sensed within those lights. If you are not in an area where you can physically see them with your eyes, see them where you can in your electronic devices. The effect will be the same. They are encoded with heavenly numerical sequences that are not important and that you cannot see nor read, but those frequencies are what is responsible for the emotions that are sensed when your optic nerve receives the vibration of these colors coming in to your brain and eliciting an emotion. Almost as a lullaby may calm a newborn babe. It is the frequency and the melody of your voice that calms them. And it is the frequency and the melody of those colors that create a calming effect. Quite quickly and quite rapidly, simply by visually being able to take in those colors that are taking place in the night skies. There are many things presently in your environment. I have spoken simply of two that can help you to balance all of the other turmoil that is taking place, not only in each one of your personal lives, but within your communities, within your countries, within your world. Utilizing the nature that surrounds you, the skies that cover you, the earth and the seas that surround you. Truly, in silence, connect with these things. And you connect with the inner essence of yourself. There is then a communication, almost like a cable from source of you to source of nature. This helps, as they call it, ground you. Right? Grounding you is recalling, remembering the power that you have to calm within yourself. The more of you that are able to practice this, the more of you that walk about with that vibration of solidity, of calmness, of knowing that things that will take place, you will be able, regardless of what they are, to find that source within and find that calmness that is innate within each one of you, and to utilize your senses, if you must, to access them by visuals, by sounds, and by frequencies. There are multitudes of modalities today being utilized. Yes, most of them for humans come with a price, but many are being offered and repetitively put forth at no cost to you. Seek them out and you will find them. They are frequency tonalities of hearing. All of your senses hold secrets of how you can connect either auditory, visual, memory, even smells. All of these things are here for you to utilize to create the emotional state that you wish to be in at that time, or an emotional state that you need to vary because the frequency is too disruptive for you. You do not need to stay in that disruption. You can stop it. You have the power to, and you have access to many modalities to do so. You are a species that is very difficult with themselves. You are very stringent and demanding in what you wish to accomplish. We wish to take this opportunity to say to you, please refer to your history as to those things that you have accomplished as you move forward to things that you feel are going to be too difficult to pass through. If it is there for you to experience, it has a purpose, it has a reason. I refer back to the beginning of my conversation and my message that regardless of how you in your human form may calculate or grade how something took place, and if it was indeed a positive or a negative, that regardless of that, it was a lesson. And again, we repeat to you, that is the purpose here. And this lesson now is a part, again, of your makeup and your history forever moving forward in all of the dimensions that are you. We wish to also focus a moment, because it is fleeting and it is unique, these events which you partake in what you call celebrations of historical religious interpretations, you create moments for unity. You create excuses for connecting greater with your humanity and your sheer innate kindness that does exist but becomes buried throughout the years. Enjoy these moments and treasure them, for they are memories that do stay also with you infinitely. They are a precious part of the experience here. Continue to move forward with light and know that darkness many times is part of the spectrum of light. The darker a room may be, the more brilliant the one bulb that shines. It also has its place. Again, all of these things are part of what is to be learned. They are necessary, almost experiences for each and every one of you, the moments of darkness and then the light that, again, I reiterate, come from within, from your proper source that each and every one of you have and are connected to, then the multiple river of source. It is all interconnected. Be joyful in those things that are meant to bring you joy. Reach out for them when you are lacking in joy, as you may reach out for nourishment when you are lacking in energy and feeling fatigued. It is the same concept. There is much excitement that will be coming to all of you in the near future. Much to be grateful for, much to look forward to. But please recognize that in each moment that you are there, be grateful for what is occurring within that moment. Live within that moment, not in waiting for things that will come further in your future, for then the focus is missed in what you were to experience in that instant that is now gone. Please envelop yourselves in the love that exists within you, within those that are around you, that you have chosen to be part of your lives, and all of the other things that are invisible to the majority of you, to the majority of your senses, that at times you receive only a flicker, a feeling, a vibration, a tingle. There is other things that are there full of love for you as well, although they are not visible to you. Their frequency surrounds you, guides you, and envelops you. Let this bring you comfort in the season that is to come. And let the lights that you use to brilliantly illuminify your cities and your trees, to brighten your souls, your hearts, your minds. We wish you, above all else, infinite love. Thank you for the opportunity of this communication.
Welcome back, Jeannette.
Thank you.
That was, I felt like a student and the headmaster had stepped into the classroom and was taking over, because we needed a stern talking to. But that's okay, because it got my attention and I had to sit up and listen, and I was too scared to move in case I had chalk or a duster thrown at me. So no mucking around in this classroom, I can tell you. So I made a few notes, and I know you're probably still coming back, because that was quite a long, profound message, and there was a lot in that. I want to say similar topics, but different, maybe perspectives and aspects bundled around that, talking about the frenzied energy. And I'm sure we can all agree, coming into the festive season, that energy is definitely felt out there in the world, with, the Christmas holidays, the festive season coming. But to remind us of what we have learnt at this time as we move from this chapter this year into the next. What are we learning? What was our lessons? And it's not about the negative or the positive. What did we experience? What did we take from that? Not what we lost. What did we take from that we can then build upon? Crisis equals resolution. Lost equals attained. And it doesn't matter how something was lost. It's about the knowledge that was gained from that experience. Okay, let me have a look here. So they spoke about these cycles that come in and around into multi-dimensions of us, of who we are. I thought that was very interesting. I love the multi-dimensional thing.
They're talking about loss, and it was, and what you learn. Like you'll hear, there's so many little quotes or whatever. And frankly, as a human being, after I lost my husband, I didn't take too kindly to, smile or like these like one-liner things. And when you said that, when you have truly life-shattering losses, and I mean, I got a good amount of years with him and we had a beautiful life. So I have a lot to be grateful for. But like when parents lose their child and you hear, well, you have more to be grateful for, you still have another kid, or, it's like in that moment, no, you're just angry. So for anybody who's experiencing that life-shattering type of loss, it takes time and it takes years, and it takes a lot of internal healing and a lot of grace from the angels and those people I believe that surround you and care for you. And eventually, though, I think we get there, of what was learned from that loss, and to move on. But I did want to just emphasize, because when I heard it from you, I immediately thought of my husband and what I felt like, if somebody had told me that at that point in time. So that takes a while to be able to grow roots in you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like somebody that I know says it all the time, and I go, you know how there's only one end of a day. You say that like 5 times in every conversation I have with you. So it's starting to like lose its force, but it is, there's a much bigger, huge lesson that is learned when you have such a voluminous loss like that. So yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't want to lose you, but I also wanted to interrupt, because a lot of people will hear stuff like that and be like, well, it's really easy to have somebody say that to you, but to be able to step back, it takes time.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's something I think that nothing can be rushed when you're not ready. This is why it's all an individual, unique journey. And we'll never know what someone else's shoes feel like when we're, that they're walking in, until you've been in a similar situation. And it's not, and like you say, there's no time limit on how long it takes for someone to get to that point where they can look back, or they are out of the anger, the grief, the trauma. It's a process, and it takes as long as it takes. And I can't even begin to imagine. I haven't experienced that depth of loss. And, especially coming into the festive season, how that must be for some people.
Yeah, because the holidays are magical and they're beautiful, but when you're carrying something like that's so dark, because it is. I mean, the part of you dies, and I can't imagine, like I said, losing a child. And there's an expectation of jolliness and whatever, and you're just not about it. For me, I was very resolute, kind of like not to bum everybody else out, but hey, you're not the way you were. I'm like, probably never will be that person again, because when you get 5-6 years, away from that event, it changes you forever. Your perspective is different. You handle things differently. So you will never be that person that you were prior to that event. Just like on a happier note, you have a newborn baby and you have your husband, your wife, and you and your kid, and that. You will never be the people you were before you had that child. Your perspective on everything has changed. Okay. So you go through life events and you learn things. You can't unlearn them. You can't unfeel them. And all of those events, you are learning. You are learning and you are adding to your repertoire. Sometimes it's a really hard lesson. Sometimes it is a joyous joy, one that's full of joy and excitement. And those are beautiful. So, I mean, cling to those. And when you're stuck in one of the darker ones, try to click into those memories, and elicit them, and you'll feel a little bit better. But yeah, I just wanted to let people know it's like that. I hear that from you, and I know that at least for me, it's it's a heavy thing to hear somebody say. And I forgot now exactly what your verbiage was, but yeah, we're all human, and it takes time.
Yeah. And for some who might think, well, that's okay for the spirit world to say that. They're not here, doing this, or do you know what I mean?
I
That's
do.
all
Let me
that's all
tell
well
you.
and
Oh my God, this is a funny story. We're at like a family reunion. I don't know who's all the cousins and everything, and then the next generation, which they're just now starting to have their babies. They're in their late 20s and early 30s or whatever, and I don't know at what point in the last like 5 crazy years, because they've been like crazy politics or whatever. So, and we're having this really heated debate, and I got one cousin who's like growing his own farm, and he's ready for everything to take, and another one, and I'm like, my God, really? Do we have to start doing this? I haven't the first clue. And my wise uncle, was like in his 80s, who's lived and gone through communism in Cuba, had to run away from his country, all this stuff, and is very spiritual. And again, I think I have mentioned that my grandfather used to do um, uh, seances. Those are what you call them in English. And he goes, we're kind of getting all worked up, right? My generation. And he's like, relax. It's just your body that's going to die. Your spirit will continue. Cousin, I looked at everyone like, right now, this is what I'm worried about. I'm not really thinking about my spirit. So I just want you guys to know that every medium is going to tell you, yes, the spiritual life continues. But at that moment, we all just died laughing. And he was like really somber. And he's a real funny guy. He's got a great sense of humor. He's like, I don't know what you guys are worried about. It's just your body. I'm like, just our body. Are you for real? And but if you can go into that higher intellectual self and that higher spiritual self, yeah, absolutely. Your body will die. But when you're in that human moment and people are talking about, you go on any YouTube thing, and this is a straw because the first thing you're going to have is not going to have water. You're not going to have this toilet paper. Oh my God, let's start stocking it up. You get into that crazy stuff. But I don't remember exactly what was happening at that moment that it was like, oh, and he's like, don't worry about it, because if you check out, he says, it's like you left this hotel and you went into another one. I'm like, well, it's at least going to be a Ritz or Four Seasons, and I never can really afford it. It's going to be something that nice. But he was just like super confident, like, don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's just your body. It's just your body.
Perspective, hey? Perspective. Look, for some people, that's their outlook on life. That's how they sail through different things that happen. You think, how are they coping so well with that? Perspective and age and experience probably plays a huge part as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's 87 or something. I don't know. He's up there now, and he's still really clear. But so he comes at us with these words of wisdom, and we just like roll on the floor laughing. We're like, are you for real right now, man? You know how hard it is to keep this body going and looking the way it looks? That's like, you're telling me don't worry about it? So can you imagine, Michelle, the whole thing you've been doing, all the training you've been doing, the muscle building and everything, Michelle, it's just your body. Forget it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I know. You just like walk away going, oh, I just wasted all that time.
All those carbs I had to eat to keep that muscle going, Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. What's the point of life again? Anyway. But that's an interesting perspective. And for us as mediums, we are aware that in the spirit world, the collective consciousness, they don't have this human emotional tie to everything. It's almost more factual, I think. Would you agree with that?
Etheric, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I even understand what that really is like. It's kind of like you get close to feeling, yeah, okay, I could see where, but no, I really miss that pet that died, or, man, I have to leave this apartment. I've gotten so used to it and I don't like this one as much. It's called being human.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
It's part of our condition here. Just, nothing
which
you
is
do about
why,
it.
which is why, you'll probably hear a lot of mediums or spiritual people say this phase that we're in. I don't know if you want to call it a phase, but this humanness that we're in, this journey that we chose to come here and have, is one of the hardest to experience for the soul. Now, is that true? I don't know. I'll tell you when I get to the other side, maybe.
So, knowing you, Michelle, you'll probably go right back into line to do it again. And I'll be like, see ya. Show me the next level, please. Is our penthouse available? I'll take that one. Yes. Give me a little cushion, a little comfort. It's tough. It seems like everybody's life, when people are vulnerable enough to really tell you what they've gone through in their life, you'll have 5 years of like something, and then boom, something big happens, and it's a cancer. You lose somebody, or like, huge, oh my God, like, I can't even, I didn't live through the war in Cuba, but you think right now to families and everything that are being completely misplaced in Russia and UK and Israel and, so many parts of the world. And at least for me, I'm doing a cakewalk here. So who am I kidding? But
yeah,
I hope that the next thing, or that they go to do, that we do, is that we can still learn from it, but that it doesn't have to be so excruciatingly painful to learn these lessons.
Yeah, that's it.
Like when you have a child and your child has an illness or a problem. I mean, well, that'll wreck any parent.
Yeah.
They're hard. They're really hard.
Absolutely. I agree. It's, to me, one of the most difficult, challenging experiences anyone could ever go through. Just heartbreaking. They're just everything. I don't even know if you can even put a term on that. But as they say, and it's so easy to say, we signed up for this, and no one wants to hear that when they're going through it, because that's just cruel, unfair. How many times do you hear people
The first time I heard that, I'm like, so wait a minute. So before I ever even got here, there was something not clicking upstairs. Because, I'm dyslexic, all right? And it took me many years to truly learn how to read, and that's fine. Doctor's degree, I can handle. I got to where I needed to get to. But I'm like, so before I even entered this world, I was making stupid decisions and saying, yeah, pile that one on there too. Yeah, I want 2 more lessons, make my husband die young, give me cancer twice. What else you got? Yeah,
exactly.
Something was not okay there, making those decisions.
You want the full variety package.
I really needed a good counselor back then. But I've heard that a lot, and I believe it too. I do believe it. Doesn't mean I enjoy the whole concept of it,
Yeah, exactly. And when you're in it, it's a whole different scenario. Your perspective is not where it is when you're out of it. Like when well and truly past it, or, you've sort of gained insight years down the track. Mm-hmm. And that is, I guess, part of the experience is being in it, being in the emotion. But in being in that, the trauma or the grief or the loss, there will be a day when someone may approach you and you can give them some wise words of advice because you've been there. Or you can share and empathize with them because you've been there, and that may help them on their journey.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's about sharing in that
vulnerability, the vulnerability and sharing, at least the society that I live in and the country that I live in. It's, I'm fine. How you doing? Hey, I'm good. How are you? Bullshit. Most of us are not good, fine when we say that. Most of us would really say, oh my God, my mom's in the hospital, and you could actually be standing there talking to that person and listening to them for a good hour. But we don't have the time for that. So, let's go, move it along. I'm good. You're good. Everybody's fine. Let's go. Until it goes bam, because there's been just too much that's piled up on you. So when you do have a good friend, or you have somebody that you can talk to, or you have to pay somebody you talk to, that's fine too. And you can truly connect, because you get so used to saying I'm fine that after a while you kind of think, yeah, I guess I'm okay. That was fine. It's not, because you kind of like move yourself away from what was really bothering you, or what hurt you, or what disturbed you. And it's important to kind of take those things, dissect them, put them in their place, and then move on to the next terrific thing that you set up for yourself to experience, Yeah.
Yeah.
But vulnerability and being able to talk to somebody really about how you're feeling and how you feel about yourself, those are some really fantastic human experiences that you can have.
And sometimes unpacking all of that to someone or with someone can help bring clarity into a situation, or it just gets out that, I want to say, stuck energy sometimes. And just through that expression, it's almost like it can sort of free up the energy a little bit to flow, and perhaps make that day a little bit less challenging, maybe a little bit, maybe a tiny bit, maybe a lot.
Yeah, intense. And sometimes they're the smallest things. I was leaving a parking lot with a friend of mine, and there was this huge truck coming in, and he really didn't fit in this lane. And he's like, and he's a huge truck. So we're down here going, and my friend's like, dude, buddy, what do you want me to do? And meanwhile, it was one way also. And it was the way we're looking, going out. And he's pointing at the one way sign, but he's not seeing which way the arrow is pointing. And I thought, okay, options. One, these two men can continue getting contact, and the cars are just like, nobody's moving now. They're just having this, through the windows. And I'm like, or let's just completely diffuse this before it really ever gets going. And I look at the guy and I put my shoulder, I'm like back up a little bit, because he's a lot bigger than me. And then he's like, but he backed up, and then I'm waving and I'm smiling and I'm like, thank you. And he's like,
yeah,
whatever.
You're forced to out of me.
But human beings have the capacity to take something that ridiculous and blow it up.
Yeah.
What for? You are faced daily, I think, with ridiculous situations like that, that you can bypass, you can redirect the flow of, or you can get all cantankerous and get all upset and blow up the rest of your day before you even get going. It's your choice. You have the ability to choose, not always, but many times, the direction you want things to go in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree. And that's what it comes down to sometimes, is choices. Pick and choose wisely. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
choose the easy flow.
Yeah, exactly. The one that flows the best. Go with the river, not against it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I loved this part, a shifting happening in the near future. Some may not fully understand right now. And there was a moment when they went into, but we're not going to go into any more of that. Oh, okay. We'll just dog ear that one and come back to it later. Yeah.
Very uncool. Very uncool.
Exactly. Just stop right there.
That's like when people tell you, look, I really but no, I'm not going to tell you now. You know when people do that to you?
Yeah, cliffhanger.
But I'm not going to tell you now. Why do people do that? Then why did you even begin with, I'm not going to,
I'm guilty of that, actually. In an interview I did the other day, I went to refer to something that was said in a previous episode, and I went, and my husband thought that story you said in episode blah, blah, blah. And I went, actually, I'm not going to say it because then that will be a spoiler alert. Oh, don't worry about it.
But that's a good reason not. This is a whole different situation. Okay.
Yeah. I know, exactly. Some profound insight. Yeah, no, sorry, we're going to stop right there. You're not getting the rest of it. No, nope, not ready. I'm like, but I am. Please do tell. Then they went into speaking about horses, which I found fascinating. Full of magic, healing, and communication, sacred beings we will learn to align ourselves with. I'm just like, who knew? Personally, I'm shit scared of horses, but
really,
they're big and they've got big feet.
My daughter volunteers with autistic children and a horse program, and she has gotten kicked by a horse. Okay,
see,
but I have seen the program, and I have seen how these children interact with them. It's my big thing, Mahara, was like, have you bathed the dogs? No. I go, but weren't you bathing, volunteering horses? One horse is like equivalent to at least 4 dogs. You could have bathed our dogs twice. That's my takeaway. But it's beautiful work. It really is. All joking aside.
Yeah. And I know, and I don't hate horse. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that. I think they're beautiful, majestic creatures.
Yeah.
And I know that they use, I don't know about other countries, but horses as therapy here for children with autism or disabilities.
Right. Yeah,
because they're the communication. I think it's just, and it is a real magical bond. That happens there. And I think that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Brianna started, and actually she had her own, real horrible physical situation she was in and she was going through. And I said, sometimes this is another one of those things that you hate to hear. If you're like in the middle of some horrible thing, help other people. That'll make you feel better. But it works. Yeah. So I said, maybe you should look into volunteering somewhere. What do you want to do? I know that we've volunteered with rescued dogs and stuff like that. She goes, well, I really like horses. And she found this place called Whispering Mange, that it's like a nonprofit. And she was 20 when that happened. And today is her birthday. So she's
happy birthday, Bree.
Happy birthday, Bree. So for 15 years, she's been volunteering, and now she does her social media and everything, but terrific nonprofit. And there are many like that for children that are autistic and veterans. And so there is definitely something magical about horses, but I'm kind of like you. I love to ride them and stuff, but they're massive. So respect.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Exactly. I agree. Okay, a change in the atmosphere outside our Earth, changing our Earth, sky, etc., lights, frequencies, colors, responsible for us feeling shifts within us through visually seeing these colors, which I found was very interesting. And I would like to actually go back and re-listen to that. But through the visual intake of seeing these colors, the lights has a shift within us. So I found that very interesting. I mean, and realistically, you go out and look at a sunrise or a sunset and the brilliant colors, that moves people. You sit there and just, wow. And everything doesn't exist in that moment of the wow as you're looking at it. It's more than just a visual experience. It's I want to say a deep, soulful experience almost.
Yeah, it reaches inside you, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, connect with your earth, nature for grounding, reminding you of who you are and for the calming vibration within. I love that. And particularly at this time of year, get outside. If you live in an apartment, a park, a piece of grass, just be in the moment, in the sun. Enjoy the sun. I know it's winter where you guys are. Or heading into that.
Yeah, that's South Florida. Our winter maybe 3 days where it gets to 50, but yeah. So
yeah,
and but winter's also beautiful. The white snow. Yeah,
the sounds of birds, the sound of you play something through your headphones if you can't get out. That is a babbling brook, birds singing, just the sounds of nature, the sound of wind or rain can still have the same effect. And move yourself into that calm state. And it does work. If you haven't tried it, please give it a go and then tell us what you think.
Well, that's why camping is such a big thing, and it is that whole I mean, initially, I think, before we started building cities and apartments, and so you had small homes, and the earth was your floor.
Yeah.
You didn't have tile, you didn't have wood, you didn't have laminate, and so you were getting grounded all the time. The smells of the earth were constantly with you, and you needed to go out into nature to get water. Like I wouldn't be all about that. I like to turn on my faucet and my shower, but we had more opportunities. So now we have to almost like I got to get to the gym. I got to get a little bit of nature. I got to go to the beach, or I got to go to the mountains, or go on a hike, and it resets me anyway.
Yeah.
Like people make fun of me because they're like, "Hey, have you gotten what you wanted yet after your husband died?" Because I would I just want to move to a cabin in the woods. That was my thing. Still my thing. I really want something up in the mountains. I love the mountains. They're so majestic. When you sit there, kind of like the sunrise thing, and you see these mountains off in the distance, and they're huge, and you just feel so small, and it kind of puts things into perspective. So nature is huge in helping calming all of us.
Yeah, I agree with that. I am the hills rainforest type of get me out into, we call it the bush here, but
a good thunderstorm, right? Nice thunderstorm.
Yeah,
that electricity that you feel,
and you watch it roll in across the mountains, and nothing like it, is there? Oh, I'm so there with you. Anyway, all right, back to where we were before we drift off and go into another altered trance state. Seek the natural modalities all around you using your senses to stop the chaos. So that was part of the nature thing. In seeking, what's outside, a beautiful flower, a tree, the wind, the sun. And I felt like, oh, I'm one of these, that we are humans, difficult, demanding species. I'm like, no, I'm not. Oh, hang on, maybe I am.
Just prove the point. Right?
Exactly. Hey. Anyway, please refer to history for what has been accomplished. A purpose, reason for your experiences, positive or negative, equals the experience is necessary. So regardless of the negative or the positive experiences you're having, it's about the lesson. It's about having the experience. It's about gaining, or as was mentioned, attaining that knowledge, which was said at the start. Celebrations, moments to connect. They're referring to this festive season with one another. Enjoy these moments. Treasure the memories, a precious part of your experience here, as in here on earth. But those are moments, and not just the festive season. Any celebration is an opportunity to enjoy that moment and create that memory for life. They went on to say, the darker the room, the more brilliant the one bulb shines. I loved that. I had to write that down. That was like, oh, yeah, I feel that. Darkness is part of the spectrum. So if you look at that in perspective, you go, okay, yeah, I do get that. Reach out for joy like you would needed nourishment. So when you're hungry and your body needs nourishing, you go for food. If you're feeling a little bit down and out, or, and you need to feel, to have a pick-me-up, or you feel like you need to find, reach out for joy.
Tell you, I had a really difficult week, and what got me through it was there was a new country song that came out that I really loved. And I said, I am just going to, in my head, play that every time someone's going blah, 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 blah. And I can't react, and I can't engage, and I just have to sit there and listen. I am going to, and I used to sing and be in a band in my 20s, and I'm like, I'm just going to learn how to sing that song. So I'd be like, okay, let me start at the beginning. And I would in my own head. So I connected with that. I could hear the song, the music, the lyrics going off in my head, because we have access to that and we're able to do that. And so let me tell you that at one point, one of the individuals is like, Jeannette, And I'm like, I was so fucked. I was writing the lyrics down and I'm thinking, oh, they're just going to think I'm like really paying attention and taking notes to everything, you know? And I'm like, huh? Yeah. Two-time dancing. He likes Texas more than he likes Tennessee. You know?
Oh, that's classical. I love that. Oh my God.
But yeah, music's huge, man.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. For shifting moods, for lightening. Oh, it's incredible for lifting the vibration. And a lot of mediums and people who do table tipping, or which will be a podcast episode that we'll be doing, table tipping.
Cool.
Or seances and all that sort of thing. Some people will play music and upbeat music because it raises the vibration, where some people think, oh no, you've got to sit in the stillness, and everybody go into this,
drumming circles. There's a lot to that too. Different, like I know the Santeria does dances and drumming and like a lot of the African stuff that, definitely very powerful.
Yeah. And if you ever want to hear a sample of Jeannette singing, episode 69.
What? Are you telling me I sang in a trance?
Oh, sorry, you haven't seen it yet. You haven't seen it yet. Oops. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Not funny, Michelle. Bad enough my eyes rolled. Now you're going to tell me I sing too?
You did. It was so beautiful, and it was just like an angel. And you can see that in the trailer teaser right at the beginning. I made sure that was highlighted. Anyway. And we'll move on from that. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Okay, so the last one, gratitude in each moment for the full experience and lesson, regardless, negative, positive. And as you were saying, which was very fitting actually, when you came out of trance, or when you came back into your physical body, you spoke about how it's so easy to say, be grateful, but when you've had such a loss, you're just not there. You don't want to hear that. And they mentioned it at the end.
I mean, usually if you've already passed the shock part, then you're just pissed off.
Yeah.
That, you lost this and you feel like it was taken from you. And very few, it's very difficult because our society anyway, there may be better equipped societies around the world, don't know what to say to somebody when they've had a tremendous loss. And so it's almost like you have, what was it? Leprosy or something like that. And you're kind of like on this, this remote island or cave by yourself, because people are kind of like afraid that it may be contagious, Because there's a big hype of like, being happy and, I mean, how many like depressed emojis are there? Maybe there's one. There's a bunch of other ones that are like happy, goofy, whatever. You know what I mean? It's much more popular. It's more popular. To be funny, to be happy, to be amusing. Yeah. But it's the other side of the coin. We are all of these things.
Yes.
At any one point in time.
And we're all in our own individual journeys at different stages, different stages of this role that we've come into play. And it's going to be different for everyone. And I think patience is a big thing with some people, as much as you may be on the outside looking in going, oh, if they just did ABC, well, they're not there to recognize or want to do that yet. So be kind to friends, be kind to family or someone that's going through a situation that may not be, may be traumatic or not your idea of where they should be. That's just your opinion. Allow them space, time to grieve,
when you
grow.
Go through stuff like that, kind of like you were saying, as you continue to travel through your life and your world, and you have these experiences, you can help others that want the help, because be careful, a lot of people don't invade their space if they don't want it. Even if you see them suffering, it's almost like they have a huge sign, back the F off. So, hey, how are you? Okay. And you move on. But the ones that you think, are really going to benefit and want some connection, you can sense that. So, feel it out and go there and see if you can enlighten them a little bit and let them know, this is another one. This too shall pass. I immediately want to use the only sign language that I know that I'm not going to do right now.
Yeah, that's it.
But they can see in you something that took place and where you are now and think, okay, it's possible, it's possible. And I'm not the only person that this has happened to historically, nor am I the last one that this is going to happen to. And people, majority of us, move through it. And I got to tell you that with all of the programs like this that are available today, there are multiple ways to receive assistance and help.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree. And on that note, Jeannette, you do readings for people. I know we're coming into the festive season and a lot of people want to communicate and be in touch with past loved ones, because it is that time of year where we're missing those special people that aren't going to be at the table, for the coming Christmases. And I'm not just doing this as an upselling, but it is nice to know where someone can find a very skilled and talented person to communicate with a past loved one. It can be very difficult for someone to find someone they trust, someone who has the integrity and the compassion that it takes to do this work. So I just want to throw that out there, that you do these readings.
I do.
You do.
I do.
You do.
I do. And don't we all? Otherwise, we'd have a problem. Yeah. And it would be an honor for me to be able to do that for you. Also, I've realized when Michelle and I were hitting on this note that a lot of people don't really know what to expect. And so, I'll have people go to my site and fill out stuff, but they don't really quite make an appointment. And I'm going to change that up a little bit and offer a 15 or 20 minute just free phone call because it's all written on there. But I think people don't want to read everything that's, on anybody's website. And I've done this in person, and I am kind of a little scared. And then we've addressed that. And I've explained a little bit more about, what usually takes place. And it's different when you're one-on-one talking to somebody, and it puts them at ease, answer their questions. So, I'm going to, work on that over this weekend. So by Monday, whatever Monday is, the 23rd, 24th. And then I'll put a number up there, and you can just, have a free phone call to explain what the reading is, not for a reading, because that needs to kind of be scheduled or whatnot. And I'm hoping that maybe that will change things up a little bit. And like I said, to me, it's an honor. It's a service. It isn't about the coin or the money. It's about getting more people to recognize that if you do something like that this Christmas, you can learn that next Christmas, you're like, hey, Dad, are you there? And you maybe smell your dad's pipe. Or you have a memory that just out of nowhere, as you're smashing mashed potatoes and you're really focused, boom, it hits you about your dad. And you get that, oh, that's Dad's here. I'm going to say, hey, Dad, Merry Christmas. And I'm going to feel that he's there with me, because eventually we really aren't going to be needed. You guys can all do this on your own.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's a great idea, Jeannette, because in my experience, even if I'm sending emailing an audio recording of a reading to someone, they're nervous on the other end. They're scared, they're nervous, they don't know what to expect, they don't know what they're going to hear. And so we understand as mediums that this can be quite a frightening experience until it's happened. And then once you've received that, so it is important to feel connected to the medium.
And the scared part, let me be 100% honest. When I started to take these courses 3 years ago, Zoom was in its infancy. And so people were typing out. And I was just like, so thank God nobody had to see my face. And, it was just like typing situation. Oh, and this one of the mediums that was in the class was like, oh, I have this lady here and she purple flowers and whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was, but she described my grandmother who had just passed like 2 years before to the T. I got so freaked out that I just slammed
Oh, that's funny.
I was taking beginning mediumship classes. Okay. So it's not like we're putting you guys down that you're scared, because here I am. Okay. Like I'm like involved. I'm taking this course. And then I actually see it happening. It freaked me out, where my first reaction was, no, shut it. I'm out. I'm gone. And I left my room and I was like, how is that possible? How did that just happen? That was my first experience with my grandmother coming through. So yeah. I get it. And I think that if you can talk to, whether it's me or somebody else, and they can say, yeah, I get where you're at, because that's our human reactions. You're raised that that's not possible. That maybe when you die, then you get to say, hoo, ha, ha, we see each other again, And until then, too bad. Look at their picture and, hope for the best.
Yeah.
And that's really that's not the reality. But that your first connection is like, oh my God, this is really happening. It's kind of like you want something, and then, hey, here it is. And you don't know what to do with it. That happens many times in life, when you get something that you've been wanting for a long time and you're like, oh my God, so it's actually here. I don't know if I'm ready for this now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So. And it's a little bit like, I liken it to going for a massage for the first time if you've never been for one, and you're consciously aware the whole time. You don't really relax because you need to know what's going on, what's going to happen, what's he going to say to me? Do I have to get undressed, get dressed? What's the process here? And then once you've done it the first time, you think, oh, that was all right. The next time you go, you're relaxed. It's all good. I know what's going to happen.
It just gets better every time, like other things.
Exactly.
Like the first time can be a little difficult. Yes. Is the towel going to slip off? How is he going to keep going in that direction? Because I think he's at that cutoff line, dude. That's it. You're there. Retreat.
Boundaries. No, that's exactly it. And it is the same. It's very similar to when you've never had a reading before, you don't know what to expect, or a medium does it differently. You don't know what's going to happen. And I just say, look, go for it. See this as the messages were said from your spirit team. It's about the experience. Have the experience. And once you've experienced, having a reading or going through and connecting, hearing that communication from a loved one, you will be changed. How can you not? You will be changed. And it's the knowledge, it's that shift that occurs for people. That's what's important.
And we've said it before. What do you have to lose?
Oh, yeah.
Worst scenario is you have a great story to tell at a dinner party.
Yeah.
Of something that happened that was crazy, that maybe, you didn't agree with, but there's nothing to lose.
Exactly. So, that's it. Yeah. Jeannette, where can people find you?
I'm at JeannetteConnects.com, and Jeannette, it's spelled right there, 2 N's, 2 T's. So look at my website. Everything is on there. And like I said, I'm going to work and see if I can, by maybe, the 25th or something before November's over, put up another little thing where you can call a different line, and I can answer any questions, or we can set up like a 15-minute little chit chat, and and see if we can't get past but I get it, man. I'll never forget shutting that laptop. And then I'm like, what am I doing? I'm paying for this class, and then I have to go back to it. What happened to you? Well, I don't know. Internet went out, storm.
Whoops. I love it. So I will put Jeannette's links into the description below. So she's also on Instagram. You can contact her there, Facebook, and her website. And they're all Jeannette Connects. Thank you so much,
Fun.
Jeannette.
As always.
Yes, for your monthly channeling, and for you for your team coming through. And I look forward to having you back on the show again on the Medium's Table very soon.
Well, thank you. Happy holidays, whatever you do, wherever you go, enjoy it.
Thanks for joining me at the Medium's Table. The universe is always speaking. Listen and let your spirit soar. Curious for more? Click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe.